I got the new Rangemaster here. I want to show you the watch and unbox it and show you, I know TGV and Marc from Long Island Watch have already done their videos, but I want to give you my perspective. I want to start by explaining why I decided to buy the watch. Number one, I'm a big fan of TGV and Marc from Long Island Watch. I've been following them a long time. True story. I've always been interested in watches. I've always had one nice watch. I think I said in the channel, I had a Tag Heuer divers, I think an Aqua Racer diver, and I basically wore that watch every day for 10 years. I just was not what anybody would consider a watch collector. I had some other random watches that I got from gifts that weren't very good, sort of mall watches, that kind of thing. I would never wear them. The only watch I would wear is my Tag Heuer, and which I still have. I still love that watch. It's very sentimental to me because my wife gave it to me when we got married. 3 years ago, obviously I'm on YouTube. I'm like most people, the algorithm feeds me this video that's called The Perfect Submariner. And it's TGV's video from the Urban Gentry, their Perfect Submariner, where he talks about, his journey to acquire, according to him, the Perfect Submariner, which is a Tudor sub. I don't remember the exact reference that he mentions. It was such an intriguing video that it actually got me interested. Literally, that video, I can kind of point to that video and say that video reignited my passion for watches, or maybe you could even say ignited it for the first time, because what I was before that video and what I am today is completely different, because I now have so many watches. And I'm constantly browsing and looking for the next watch, and it's sort of like I got bit by the bug, and that video did it for me. So I just wanted to say that publicly, that that's the video. And he also made another video where he talks about the Tudor's history with the U.S. Navy SEALs. I think I watched a bunch of those videos, and and obviously ever since I've been a fan of his. And I just wanted to say that. And Marc, of course, I love watching Marc and TGV, talk about watch collections on their, their longer videos when they're together in a room, or sometimes during COVID they were on Zoom or whatever, and they would talk about watches and stuff. And I just felt that they're such a great combination, they're very charismatic people. But anyway, let's about the Rangemaster. So let's go to the other room and check it out and do an unboxing. I'm using my trusty Swiss Army knife, which I've had since basically I'm a teenager. I think my dad gave it to me, and still sharp, still it's a testament to their durability, and Swiss Army knife, can't beat that. All right. And here it is. Here's the Rangemaster Mechanical. I'm actually kind of excited because I really wanted to get the first one, and then obviously it sold out really quick. I think this one hasn't quite sold out yet, last time I checked, but, I think Marc said on Twitter that it was about 70% sold out yesterday, which was Thursday, so, let's get this guy open and have a first look. Wow. So, include the warranty and instruction card here. Man, that is a nice watch. Oh, not every watch needs to come in an elaborate box. I bought pretty inexpensive watches that come. I think I bought my Jivril, which I actually just sold. I think it's like a $500 watch, but it's an MSRP. MSRP's for $3,000 or something, which is ridiculous. But it comes in this enormous box. It's sort of like making up for the fact that it's an homage, and it's basically, but whatever. I think this is a very appropriate watch box for a watch of this this price point. But let's get a look at this thing. Let's get in a little closer. It's got a nice weight. Wow, the back of it's really cool. So let me get all the plastic off, and we'll get a better look at it. This is watch number 739 out of 1,000. I do remember Marc saying on his video that this is completely at random and you could not select your own serial number. I just wound it up, and I gotta admit, this thing is really nice. So I think Marc and TGV said that we have some upgrades from the last one. Obviously there are some differences. I believe this one is a little smaller. If I'm not mistaken, I think the first one's a 39, this one's a 37, making it a little smaller. But I think this watch was kind of more going for to be a military field watch. Field watches from, you know, the Vietnam, maybe Korean conflict era, or even maybe World War II were on the smaller side. A lot of them were 34 millimeters. And this is a little closer to that feel. You know, it gives you a little more of those. It's a little closer to those proportions, and I think it's the right size for this. I made a video shortly after when the Ranger was released, and I was like, do I have anything in my collection that can stand in for the Ranger? And I concluded that my ball here, which is similar in size, this is a 38, is the closest thing that I had, and I still love this watch, and I love the tritium tubes on it. But here, I mean, this is a dead ringer for it, and I think it even has the hands. Obviously, when they made this watch, they were trying to fill. I think they were designing this watch right before, not knowing that Tudor was about to re-release the Ranger in a 39 millimeter size, because the original Ranger before that was oversized, it was like 41 or 42. I can't remember exactly. I think it was on the bigger side. It had a weird bracelet, and they wanted to sort of remedy that, so they made the Rangemaster. They were sort of filling in a need for people that were looking for a watch like the Ranger, but it didn't exist. But Tudor released the 39 millimeter Ranger, and you know, now we have both watches in the wild, you could say. But you know, the finishing on the watch is really nice. I never had an Islander, I never reviewed an Islander, I never held an Islander in my hand, and gotta say, really good finishing, really good quality. Kudos to Marc for doing a really good job on this piece. I did wind it. It had a very nice sort of, almost, you know, it definitely feels like a Miyota when you wind it. I put it up to my ear, and it sounds almost like sort of like when you're winding a Seiko, like a 4R36 movement, but maybe a little more refined, I would say. It's really nice. And, you know, and I don't actually have a manual wind watch in my collection, so this sort of fills that. And the fact that you can see that movement, and it's that nice gilded color, that nice gilded finish, it's just so, it really does work. And it has really nice contrast between the nice brushed case material, and then you turn it around, and it's just like, it's really nice. And I'm not, you know, I'm just in my office here, and I'm not putting any real lights on it. I'll try to take some better close-ups of it. It's a very striking movement back there. I mean, it looks so nice for $320. And I think they're right. I think they one-upped Hamilton. You know how I know that? Because I actually have my Hamilton right here. And this is the 42, and this is the Rangemaster's 37. I honestly think I made a mistake buying the 42. I think it's way too big. Now that I have a little more experience in watches, I can say that I think the 42 is oversized. Whenever somebody asks me, because I made a video on this on the Hamilton, what size should I get? I always say get the 38. I've never said get the 42 unless you. The only thing the 42's got going for it is, yeah, it's a little. I mean, if you have bad eyesight, it's a lot easier. It's probably easier to read the time. I mean, it is the easiest watch to read that I own in my collection. But this is known as the Captain America watch. He wore it in a deleted scene. It's not even worth really that much, but it is true. Captain America did wear it in a movie, and there is footage of it. I actually have it on my channel, but I wish I had the 37. I wish I had the 38 millimeter, and I've actually looked for a 38 millimeter at like Hamilton Khaki Field. I've almost bought one, and I always stop because I'm like, I gotta stop buying watches. But I think the search is done. I think I'm good. You know, I got my Rangemaster. It's a unique design. It's got elements of the Hamilton, a little bit of the Ranger, and I think it's a beautiful watch. Really, and I think it's the perfect size. I like the canvas strap. I think it's very appropriate given what they were going for with this watch. A field watch. I think it's perfect. I don't think it needed to be a NATO or anything like that, because it would block the movement if you had like a NATO. I think this is perfect canvas. You think military. It just looks like something that you could have this on somebody's wrist in Vietnam War and not even blink. Like, yeah, totally, I get it. I could totally see it. And if you're looking for something like that and you want to have something that's not a Hamilton and something different, I think you can't go wrong with this thing. One more thing I want to mention about this watch is I love the simplicity of time-only mechanical watches. They're perfectly symmetrical. You don't have any date windows. You don't have any, because sometimes, Seiko, they just I don't know if because they have to, because of the movement they use, but sometimes they'll just throw in a date window at like 4 o'clock or 4:30, and it just doesn't work. I mean, I wish they would almost take it out or choose another movement that doesn't require the date function. But maybe they were just working with what they could. But whatever. I just love time-only mechanical watches. It's simple. They're probably easier to service, and less to go wrong. And sometimes you don't need a date. It's just something, I'm a little OCD. When I have a date, I feel like I got to set it every time. And it's sort of almost refreshing to just put on a watch, just wind it, set the time, and you're done. Beautiful, very nice, very simple. And I think it's really, 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 I think they knocked it out of the park with this watch. So here it is on my 7¼ inch wrist. As you can see, it fills my wrist quite nicely. In fact, I think it's almost any bigger, and I think it would just be with the Hamilton, I feel like the lugs are almost hanging off my wrist a tiny bit. I can pull it off, but I think this is the better size. Like I said, when somebody asks me about the Hamilton, I say go with the 38. I always say it. And I think this is the really nice size. And the canvas, obviously, I think it needs to break in a little. It's a little thick, but again, feels like it's going to be very durable, which is a good thing. I'm gonna put it on the scale right there. I mean, I'm not gonna do the measurements. TGV already put that in his video, so I don't think it's worth it. But I'll just throw in 57 grams. Here's my ball, which is full titanium, just to get a reference. 85, which is, this is such a comfortable watch. It's one of the reasons why I love it. It's full titanium with the bracelet. It's still 85 grams. And here is my Hamilton Khaki Field. 79 grams. So, I can only imagine that this is a super comfortable watch given the weight. I love the fact, I forgot to mention this, that there's a little bubble there in the back sapphire, which they had to mill out just to make room for just to get it just that 1 millimeter or half a millimeter thinner. And I think that's just such nice attention to detail. It really helps the channel out if you can like the video and consider subscribing. Really helps. And if you have any questions about the watch, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.